You get to the end of the month, pay your bills, and find exactly $200 left over. But you also have $8,000 in outstanding debt. Half your brain screams to throw every extra penny at the debt to finally be free. The other half warns that you are losing out on decades of compound interest by not investing right now. Both sides make a compelling argument, but the correct path doesn't depend on how you feel. It depends entirely on a single number printed on your monthly statement. I spent 2 years paralyzed by this exact choice, splitting my cash inefficiently because I couldn't decide. Then someone handed me a framework called the 7% rule. Once you identify the exact interest rate attached to your loans, deciding between paying debt and investing stops being a stressful tug-of-war. It becomes a simple, objective math equation. This diagram illustrates the core of the rule. If your debt charges an interest rate in the red zone, meaning anything above 7%, you kill it first. The math behind this comes directly from the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is a stock market index tracking the performance of the 500 largest companies in the United States. Over the last century, it has averaged an 8 to 10% annual return. Once you factor in inflation, that true historical growth rate drops to roughly 7%. When you aggressively pay down a loan that charges 9 or 10%, you are instantly securing a guaranteed, risk-free return on your money that outpaces the historical average of the stock market. Look at these side-by-side scorecards to see the math in action. A standard credit card charges an annual percentage rate, or APR, around 24%. Carrying a $5,000 balance at that rate costs you $1,200 in pure interest every year. By paying it off, you lock in a 24%, and while the market return on the left might jump to 15% one year and drop to -10% the next, the 24% penalty on the right is absolute certainty. High-interest debt actively drains your wealth significantly faster than a standard investment portfolio can build it up. This graph shows what happens when the math flips. If you have a car note or a student loan at 3.9 or 4%, the green investment growth line rises much faster than the red debt interest line. Your money works harder in the market. To handle this efficiently, step 1 is to audit your finances. List every single active debt you have right next to its specific interest rate. For any debt sitting below the 5% threshold, pay only the minimum required amount. Take every extra dollar you have and route it straight into your investments. If you have a rate sitting in the gray area between 5 and 7%, split your leftover cash down the middle. Put exactly half toward the debt principal and half into the market. There is one absolute, non-negotiable exception to this entire system: your employer 401k match. A 401k match is an employer contribution to your retirement fund based directly on what you put in. Because it provides an immediate 50 to 100% return on your money, it mathematically crushes any interest rate a bank could ever charge you. By treating your extra cash like a triage unit, you deploy every available dollar to its highest mathematical potential without letting emotions get in the way. Let's run a 5-year simulation to prove it. We have 2 identical subjects. Both carry a $12,000 credit card balance at 22% APR, and both have exactly $400 in extra cash each month. Person A decides to chase the market. They make minimum payments on the card and invest all their extra $400 at a standard 8% return. Person B follows the rule. They direct that entire $400 strictly toward the 22% debt until it hits zero, and only then do they transition to investing. Comparing their balance sheets after 5 years, Person A built a $29,000 investment portfolio but still owes an $8,000 mountain of compounding debt. Person B wiped out their debt in 44 months, then invested, leaving a pure $7,000 net positive and absolutely zero debt. Person B wins by a clear $3,000 margin, but they also gain an intangible victory: the psychological relief of sleeping soundly without a high-interest obligation hanging over their head. So stop guessing. Log into your accounts right now, find out exactly what you are being charged, and drop your highest interest rate percentage in the comments below. Strictly following the 7% rule removes the exhaustion from financial planning. You plug in the numbers, you follow the math, and you never have to second guess.